Come in, folks. Just give us a second. We're having a little bit of issue. Okay. All right, here we go.
Carl, it looks like something going on with your internet again. Okay, guys, sorry, it looks like Carl has some issues with his internet again. We'll need another couple of minutes to get him back on. So 1 second.
Sorry, guys. Again, with the funky internet. The storm is, we're based here in Florida, so we're having issues with the hurricane doing its thing. So let's try this one more time. Again, Carl Holman, let's go through the etiquette in case we lose it again. Microphones are muted for all of our participants. Questions can come in through the Q&A panel, and we'll go ahead and answer those as we get them. Now, Hannah's been with the company for about 6 years now, Hannah, I believe, and you have been on doing correspondent for, what is it, 3 now specifically going on?
Two.
Okay. So I will go ahead and turn the floor over to Ms. Hannah. She will tell us all about the world of correspondent lending, and then I'll join you back in just a few minutes.
Perfect. Carl, can you share the screen on the
I
presentation?
I can share the screen.
Perfect.
Normally that is totally set up by the time I have done my thing. All right, thank you.
Okay, guys, before jumping to the correspondent channels, I wanted just to give a couple words about the A&D Mortgage for maybe some people who doesn't work with us at the moment and thinking about partnership with A&D Mortgage. So our company is a full-service direct mortgage lender. We've been in a business as a lender since 2005. We offer different kind of products, including conventional, FHA loans, Fannie Freddie, and non-QM. So with non-QM loans, those are specifically our bread and butter. We've been working on those since 2015, and currently we are a direct lender. We're securitizing non-QM, so we're not reselling to anyone. We are final investor on those. We have a couple channels of business that we're getting business from is a retail channel. We have some of the originators, a wholesale, and a correspondent channel that I'm going to go over in details shortly. So right now on the presentation, you have a map and you can see where, in which states we are licensed. So in the red states, we actually have a license, so we can originate all kind of loans, as well on the in the states that have light red, that highlighted in light red, we can also originate business purpose loans only, which is non-QM investment transactions. So you guys as originator can, as originators, if you don't have license in those states as well, you can originate business purpose loans only. In terms of correspondent business, we'll as well have absolutely the same licenses. If you are a full delegated lender, you actually don't need to be licensed. I'm sorry, you don't need to check our license. You can originate business in all the states that you are licensed yourself as a lender. We are going to be acting only as a final investors on the full delegated channel. So we don't need to be licensed in those states. So let's go to the next slide, Carl. What I want to start my presentation with. So the first step in correspondent channel, the first thing that I want to tell you is the channels that we offer to our partners. We have actually 3 channels. It's mini correspondent, non-delegated, and full delegated. I'm going to start with the mini correspondent channel because that's kind of a first step in the correspondent world, I would say. So if you're trying to move from the broker business to lender business. So what is mini correspondent channel? Mini correspondent channel is you pretty much still doing similar volume of work as on broker channel, meaning you submitting file to us, and then we as A&D, we disclose the file, we close the file, we underwrite the file for you. But we are, it works with a white labeling. So we are issuing all the disclosures, all the redisclosures and closing packages with your name as a lender on all loan documentation, which is a great benefit usually. A lot of borrowers like to see, you know, company's name on the documentation. So if that's something you're looking for, mini correspondent channel will be a solution for your company. That's benefit number 1. Benefit number 2, you can control your compensation. So for the broker channel, you need to choose either to charge either borrower paid compensation or lender paid compensation. For mini correspondent channel, since your company already acting as a lender, you have an ability to charge compensation upfront or on the back or both at the same time. And you're not going to be worrying about the borrower compensation cap that we have for the brokers, because since you will be in charge of setting up compensation for your originators or for yourself. Another great benefit is that mini correspondent chooses appraisal management company, since all the documentation, including title, insurances, and what is the most important, appraisal, will be reflecting your company's name as a lender on the docs. You have an ability to choose appraisal management company as well. So you can choose the company you like to work with, and you can check the status online and request all the revisions that are needed from your appraisal management company as well. So one thing that I want to mention that is different from the broker channel, besides obviously having your company's name as a lender on the loan documentation, is number 1, you need to register all your file in MERS. So your company needs to get account with the MERS and register all the files in there before closing them with us. Which is usually a pretty easy process. I can walk you through if someone is interested in signing up as mini correspondent after the call. And another thing is funding process. So we have two options. We can either table fund investment transactions for you in all states except California, meaning we're closing the file, we're going to be funding them with our A&D money as usual we do for broker channel, or you will need to fund your loans with your own money, either from the assets your company has, or you need to get a warehouse line with one of the providers, and you'll be sending funds for the closing. You'll be sending funds for the closing at the day of the funding, and then A&D will be purchasing this loan from you, usually 24, 48 hours later. So we can table fund only investment transactions according to our compliance. So all the owner occupied files, we will not be able to table fund. So actually, if you thinking to become mini correspondent partner, and you'll be originating owner occupied transactions like primary or second homes, then you need to make sure you have that assets in place in house to make sure to fund those transactions, because that's very important thing that is different from broker channel. You will need to have your money for owner occupied transactions to be able to proceed with fundings. So that's what's about the mini correspondent channel. Next slide, please. Carl, next thing I'm going to talk about is non-delegated and full delegated channels that we have. So those channels are already for a little bit bigger companies who have operations team, pretty big operations team in place. So what is non-delegated? As a non-delegated lender, in your responsibilities will include the following. You will need to disclose file yourself, redisclose file yourself, close it, and fund it. So A&D Mortgage pretty much will be getting the file only for underwriting. So once you have your application, once you have your initial submission documentation to review from the writer, you can send the file to us. We're going to underwrite it for you. We're going to issue CTC, and then you can close the file and fund it and sell it to us after you fund the file. It's going to go in post-closing. So it's really important to understand that all the compliance part in this case will be on non-delegated lender, because we're going to be, before closing, we'll be checking only underwriting part, so only credit package. So if there is any questions or any issues with the disclosure package and closing packages, all those questions will be going to you as a lender. And then the full delegated channel, pretty much your company is doing everything, and then we just receive already closed files as an investor. So your company disclosing file, underwriting file, closing it, funding it. Once the file absolutely closed, you're uploading it to our system, and we're purchasing the file as an investor. Obviously, if you're gonna go this route, sorry, Carl, can you go back? If you're gonna go this route, that's the best route in terms of the pricing, number one, right? Because as a company, you're taking on much more responsibilities. Obviously, the pricing will be more beneficial for the company. Also, you'll be able to set your margins and pricing model on all the files and your origination compensation. We, as an investor, in this case, we will not be checking or limiting your borrower paid compensation. We do have some limit on the lender paid compensation as well for non-delegated and full delegated files, but I can give you more information on that after presentation if someone is interested. And but you'll be able to pretty much set up your pricing model for your company as a lender. Number two is obviously fast turnaround times. If you choose to have part of the operations, either as for non-delegated or full delegated channel in-house, is always better, because one company is working on the file, you can turn the files faster, you can disclose them faster, close them faster, and underwrite them faster if you are full delegated lender. But if you are a full delegated lender, you are taking that risk on yourself that the file will not be sellable, or maybe underwriting missed something. So I would definitely recommend for everyone who just starting up with non-QM files specifically to go first non-delegated route to see how our underwriting team reviews the files, which kind of conditions we're getting on those files, and then moving to full delegated once your underwriters feel more comfortable with reviewing non-QM files or conventional loans, as well. Thank you, Carl. Next slide. So, and why your company need to partner up with A&D correspondent. So what are the benefits of working with A&D Mortgage? So number one, we have great portfolio of non-QM programs. As I mentioned in the beginning, our company has been in non-QM space since 2015. We are securitizing all the products. So all the products that we offer out there is have the guidelines that are very clear on our website. Our underwriters are very seasoned. They've been working with the non-QM products for a long time. You'll get the best service because the team knows how to work with non-QM files as well. Another great thing, we offer Fannie, Freddie, FHA, and jumbo products. We're directly signed up with Fannie, Freddie, and FHA. So it's always good to have a company that can offer good big range of the products. That way your post-closers, your closers, your underwriters, let's say, right, can go to the same system and work with the same system, have the same workflow, than having a couple lenders for different products. So it's always to have good streamlined product with one lender, and we do offer competitive pricing on all of the products that I just mentioned. We do have a dedicated correspondent team that works on our full delegated and non-delegated channel. We have underwriters who are specifically familiar with the products, and they review only correspondent files. We have a post-closing team as well who's working with only correspondent loans. And that's actually one of the greatest benefits that we have as a post-closing review that we offer here at A&D. Usually on the market, most of the lenders, from the feedback I get from our partners, purchase the loans like within 2-3 weeks after closing. And we definitely understand at A&D the importance of freeing up the cash for your future files. So we complete post-closing review within 24-48 hours. If there is any conditions that we miss, that were missed or something like that, we will pause them within 24-48 hours. And if there is no conditions, which is the case on most of the files, we'll be able to purchase them again within 24-48 hours. So once you close the file, you will be able to fund it, to purchase it from your line within a week or so, even less sometimes. Also, another great benefits, we have pretty low requirements for signing up with us as a non-delegated. So if you are a company who's just starting up in correspondent world, we require only $250,000 as a minimum net worth for non-delegated companies, and $1 million for delegated if you're planning to become delegated. And as well, we can do agency fallout and scratch and dent loans. So if you guys have any aged loans that you were not able to sell to Fannie and Freddie, please reach out to us as well. We again offering competitive pricing, and we can take those loans from your books pretty quick. So those are all great things that I can mention of why you need to work, with A&D Mortgage. And as well, one thing that I want to mention is our website. We offer a lot of support. On our website, we offer concierge services. So if you guys let's say have a bank statement file you'd like to submit to us, we can calculate income for you. We have a lot of great resources posted on the website. We have guidelines for non-QM files. You can look through them. We have all kind of income calculators. You can review conduct questionnaires. And as well, we have a support team online on our website. So if you have questions, and each account obviously has an account executive. So guys, we're here for you to answer all your questions.
Right. And that takes us to the Q&A portion. So for those folks, if you've got any questions out there, feel free to type them into the Q&A panel over here, and we'll get to them. I'll give you guys a few minutes. I'll kind of do the wrap-up slides, and then we can get right into the harder questions you might have for Hannah. As you mentioned, there are some tools both on the correspondent website that are also on our normal website. So we do have a quick pricer where you can price out all your non-QM loans if you're not currently having them sold. We do have the appraisal center. Can they access appraisal center through?
Yes, they can access appraisal center, but that's not something you usually will be using for correspondent files specifically, because all correspondent lenders usually order the appraisals through their systems, through their providers.
True. And we don't have a correspondent section yet built out for AD Studio, but it will be coming probably within the next couple of months. But that is our online portal for generating your own marketing materials. We've got hundreds of templates built in that once you've got your profile set up, you can swap out photos, change out text, and have everything ready to go. We've got flyers, emails, social media. So there's a good array of things there for people if you don't have access to professional marketing. And we'll be continuing the weekly webinar series up till the middle of October. We're going to make a couple changes in the near future. But next week, we've talked about correspondent. Next week, we'll talk about conventional government loans. Then the following week, if you regularly follow us every Monday, we have our head of capital markets, Alex Sisloff, and Billy Abrams, the head of our ADM Securities. They do kind of a weekly market analysis. Just of both the capital markets and the mortgage industry. So we're going to do a live session with them. So that'll be a good one, especially if you're interested in the most up-to-date things happening in the marketplace. They're kind of two of the big experts right now. And then, as I mentioned, for AD Studio, if you're in the wholesale space, this would be a good webinar. We do a pretty significant deep dive on how to go about creating and manipulating things within AD Studio. So that's a good one if you have not had a chance to use it yet. The webinar here, when you log out, there'll be a brief 5-6 question survey just to let us know how you're doing. Be kind on the technical questions since we're having some issues today. And then all of these are recorded and posted on our Learning Center within 24 hours at admortgage.com/learning center. So we'll have that up for you guys tomorrow. We also have an archive of all of our past webinars on various topics from specific loan programs, bank statement programs, P&Ls, 1099 WVOEs. So you can go learn at your heart's content about all the various good programs we have to offer. And then we are live streaming this on social media as well. But if you're not aware, we do have a few presences on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. We do have something called AD News Chat, which is a feature on Telegram. And to get Telegram, just go out to Google Play or the App Store, type in Telegram, download it, and then just subscribe to AD Mortgage _bot, and you'll be linked in with us. And then finally, there's a forum group on Facebook called Non-QM Exchange that we participate with other brokers, other lenders. And it's just a good active community to share information of what's going on within the industry. You can shop scenarios out there. We're all sort of perusing what's out there. We usually are checking about every 15 minutes. So if you have a scenario, go ahead, put it in there, and somebody will be able to get back to you fairly quickly. And if you're not currently a partner, then I would encourage you guys highly to go become a partner, both correspondent and wholesale. So you can sign up on both the correspondent site and the wholesale site using this. It's the login button at the top corner. So that covers that. So let's go to the questions. We've got one question for you, Hannah. Can we do mini and still be a broker?
So not at the moment. So we can sign you up. You can be a broker and choose either non-delegated or full delegated correspondent channel, but you cannot do mini correspondent and broker relationship at the same time right now, because it's pretty much the same operation, same pricing. So there is no really reason behind that to be mini correspondent and broker, because it's usually confusing people more, and the files get uploaded on the both channels at the same time. So no, the answer is no.
Okay. All right, we have another one. If the person has with 250,000 as net worth, can you use the equity in your home as net worth to count towards the qualification?
So what are we looking for in terms of net worth? We're going to be checking out the financials that you're going to provide. And, if accountant includes the real estate, a lot of times like office buildings, then yes, we can use it as a net worth if it's a part of the net worth. So depending on the financials, how the financials are prepared and what is the accountant includes in your financials.
Right. Yeah, I'm just typing this answer out for this person.
And if rates don't move,
all right. That's all we have at the moment, but let's give people a few more minutes. So what are the most common questions that you usually encounter, Hannah, when you're first introducing correspondent to brokers that they usually have?
It depends. Mostly for the mini correspondent channel, whatever I mentioned is very important questions. A lot of people worrying about MERS. You see as a MERS and registration. And the second thing is the funds that are needed to fund your non-QM files. So number one, MERS is very easy to get. Usually it takes 2-3 weeks to get registered with your account. Pretty easy. You're getting the loan number, you're going in the system, just putting borrower's information, and here's your MERS number. So it's not that complicated. Usually it's an easy part. Regarding funds, we also can refer to you a couple of the companies or funds or banks who offer funding for the smaller companies, for the brokers that are just starting up in correspondent channel as well. So if you guys are interested and you're looking for funds as well, please reach out to me. My email information will be after this presentation as well. I can refer you to some account executives from other companies who will be able to see if your company can qualify and get that warehouse funding for doing correspondent business for conventional files for non-QM.
Great. All right. Well, it would appear you have covered everything thoroughly, and we don't have any additional questions. So I think with that, we'll go ahead and we can probably wrap it up fairly quickly. So I want to go ahead and thank all of our viewers on our social media platforms. Be sure to like, subscribe, and do everything you can to join those networks. And for those people joining us on Zoom, again, thank you for pre-registering, and be sure to take the survey when you log out. And most of all, thank you, Hannah, for helping put together a great presentation and imparting your wisdom to us.
Thank you, Carl. Thank you, guys.
All right.
Bye.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.